have odds and ends things. What do I want, like, right before I go over that's quick? I'm going to go over to yogurt. Oh, this Greek yogurt looks good.
And it was a single serve thing.
Yeah, it was just like a single thing. I just got it, and I was like, oh, this is great.
I usually get a giant tube of it.
Tub.
Tube.
Like a tube of
It's like
Gogurt.
Gogurt, the Greek.
It's
Gogurt.
It's like a fat tube. It's like a tall tube that's like big.
It's a tub. It's a tub of...
It's a tote. It's a tote of yogurt.
Well, this is a
small tote.
totes.
This is a tube of Peeves and Qs. I'm Mr. Red, and with me is the clever girl.
Hi.
And Quaff Man. Wait a minute.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Are we still doing nicknames?
Yes.
Are we? I feel I've outgrown that.
But we use others.
Yeah. Can we use our real names? I'm Alex. This is Jody and Connor. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
And Peeves and Qs is a podcast where we ask each other questions and talk about what's annoying us each and every week. Quaff.
How are ya?
Jesus Christ.
It's been a hot second.
Our listeners missed you.
I was going to say, we did a podcast.
We did.
Like, the other week.
Right?
Yeah, that's still got to go up.
How have you been? How are things? Actually, that's our first segment. How are you guys?
How are we? I'm doing okay.
Apparently, Greek yogurt's back in.
Yeah, Greek yogurt's back in.
We like Greek yogurt now.
I put my stamp of approval on that. If that means anything, probably not.
It means something to me. All right, cool.
I think that's a true sign of us like getting older is when you like start. You're like, well, have you had
Greek yogurt?
Yeah, like you know that's when you're.
And you know, like when I asked you, it wasn't like that. I asked you guys if you had both seen Interstellar. It was how I asked it.
Yeah.
Like, have you both seen Interstellar?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers. Half of the people being asked that question had not. I'll let you figure out which half. So cool. That's well, how are you, clever girl?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm also good. We recently had an event take place.
We did.
Do you want to talk about it?
Let's roll it into Peeves. So, anything else?
Oh, cool.
Okay.
No, that's it. We're good. We're all good.
Okay, well then we'll go right into Peeves. So, we talked about on a previous episode that we were going to go camping.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah.
And we did that.
We did. We went camping. It was me and the group from our previous episodes.
To put a pause on the peeve, define camping for me.
In
tubing.
a tent. Well, we camped in a tent.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we went tubing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Down the river.
The purpose of the trip was to go tubing.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like,
there was no cabin.
But
there was no
because like
hotel
when
or
some
whatever.
people say because of the area we kind of live in,
The north. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like camping could mean, oh, I'm going up to like Saginaw because my friend has an RV and we're just going to park in the side of this kind of secluded road. Or it could mean, oh, there's a campground and whatever.
There was a secluded area of the forest and we took a tent there.
Or like getting a cabin, which that's not camping.
It can be interesting, it can be fun. But
anyway, sorry.
No, that's a good thing. We put up a tent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There were some campers, but we weren't in them.
So we went. I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
We had been planning this since January. And I love going tubing. But I knew the weather was going to be complete shit.
And it was.
And I wanted to bail. And I told Mr. Alex that, like 2 days before, I'm like, I want to bail so bad, I don't want to go. And he's like, we're going to go, we're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
I just want to rub that in your face that we did not have a good time.
I was dreadfully mistaken.
No, and I just got to learn to, like, trust my intuition that, like, we shouldn't do that.
Right.
So we put up the tent the first night, this is Friday night, slept, quote unquote, in the tent.
Yeah,
I didn't
one of us
sleep.
did.
Because it was raining, and have you ever slept in a tent when it's raining? It's fucking loud. All night. And you're in the woods. And, like, the campsites were, like, really far away from each other, like, almost a half a mile. So, like, you can't just, like, easily run somewhere to get help or whatever, if something were to happen.
And the thing about rain that you don't appreciate when you're inside is that it makes a lot of weird sounds outside.
Yeah.
Like, you're laying there in the tent and you're like, oh, I expect it to just be raindrops, but then there's, like, weird crunching sounds and like cracking noises, and you're like, I don't understand what that was, and now my mind's
I'm instantly reminded of that the Onion video, where they're like, oh, like, recently, like, because they arrested a black man for something a bear clearly did. I'm just thinking about And so stereotypical bear attack.
Oh,
And so I'm just thinking about you guys in the woods and just there's just an army of bears.
And we're blaming it on the rain. But speaking of bears, let me back up a little bit. So we're eating dinner at the other campsite that all of our friends are at.
Okay.
And there's a whole ass animal, a couple of them, at the campsite. Our friend that our listeners know, Chocolate Thunder, she reaches down, she ate, set her plate on the ground, the floor of the forest, and then heard this
skitter
to the plate. And she thought it was one of somebody's dog because they have small dogs.
Right. Oh. But they didn't bring them on the camping trip. But she thought.
Well, no, because if that's just a part of how you identify with a group of people,
right.
Yeah.
And so she went to reach her hand down and finally turned, and it was a raccoon. And she almost touched it, and all she could get out, and it was so calm. It was just that's a whole ass animal.
And everybody started laughing.
And then we're like, what the hell? And so then the raccoon didn't even leave. We had to scare it, charge at it. And
they're not afraid.
No, they're not. This is their territory.
Their environment is the campground.
Yeah.
You are part of their ecosystem.
And you're only there 2 days, and they're there forever.
They're not scared of you.
We kept turning flashlights on and running after them, and they would run away from us because we were yelling, but then they would
just be fuck back. You guys.
Yeah.
Alex literally yelled at a raccoon, I'm threatening you! To get it to run away.
You just have to make a sound.
It was I'm there. It's I'm there. I can't.
It was the funniest thing.
Yeah, I'm threatening you.
Because you never yell.
Right.
You don't yell. And you don't even... I don't know. You don't even get heated about anything usually, and so for you to literally be a man, and just a toxic masculinity type, and just stand up and be I'm threatening you to a poor raccoon.
He ran away. It worked.
It did, but he came back.
So we went to sleep at about 4 a.m.
I didn't sleep.
Yeah,
we got in the tent at midnight, and I laid there till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I finally woke him up, and I said, I haven't slept. And he's like, What do you mean?
And then we went to the bathroom separately.
In the rain. Outside. No toilets at this.
4 a.m.
So literally...
super dark. It was
literally
scary.
Just peeing in the forest.
Yeah, and we kept thinking, what if those raccoons come back?
Yeah.
And, peeing on it. I don't know, because you can't see in front of you.
So that was the night. Get up, go tubing. Or no, it was supposed to be shit weather all day. It was. It rained the entire day.
Yeah.
On the river.
So did someone have a boat then? Was that...
No. Was it
that kind of tubing, or was it
hook tubes together and float down a river.
Gotcha.
On a giant series of connected tubes.
Yeah.
There was a kayak or canoe that 2 people were on, but unrelated. Yeah. I mean, they were part of our group, but go on.
You can take over from here, because I'm sure this is part of your piece.
Yeah, so it was cold most of the time. I mean, the whole time. And it was raining most of the time, on and off. And I don't know if anyone else at the table, I know Clever Girl is not, but I cannot go to the bathroom in the water.
I have no problem.
Yeah.
Zero problem.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So it's just me.
But it's not uncommon because, Carmen Sandiego, she has a problem too.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to, she can't just go.
I will not, I have no problem, but I will not go in a public pool.
That's
or
different,
like a friend's pool.
Is it different?
But it's not, but there is a courtesy to the act of I'm not gonna actively
Listen,
soil
the man
water.
who did pee in a pool in Punta Cana, don't call anybody out for peeing in pools.
My point is, I couldn't.
But you were really drunk.
Yeah. I couldn't do it in the river. I've never been able to. I'll sit in the water and just try to force it, and it just won't happen. So sometimes there are stops that we have where we get up on the shore and go up and go to the bathroom. But sometimes you have to go and you're not near one. And so I jumped off and swam over to the side and climbed up into the dirt, into the mud, and went to the bathroom off the side. And then I got back in the water and I was just floating for a while. And then I come up, I pull myself up onto the thing, and on the tube, and some amount of time goes by. I didn't notice this at first.
Yeah, I would say maybe 5 minutes.
Maybe 5 minutes until I noticed that there was stuff on my legs that I thought was dirt. So I started brushing it off, and it wasn't dirt; it was leashes.
Baby leeches.
Baby leeches, small leeches, all over my leg. There must have been 50 of them, and maybe. a lot of them just all over my leg, and
I was woozy.
No,
I thought for sure he would pass out,
but not because of like they weren't like taking a lot of.
No, they weren't. No, but Alex's biggest fear. Leeches.
I wouldn't say
really.
I wouldn't say biggest.
I would say it's definite. You stopped reading the part of it when they're talking about the leeches.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm just saying, like, that's one of your things, and he's told me this before. Like, anything to do with leeches, you just can't stand.
I hate them so much.
So, all of every 30 people in this group, of course, it happens to the guy who
can't stand
cannot
them.
stand.
So
leeches.
I start like panicking.
So he has swim shoes on.
Yeah, I have swim shoes on. And when we finally clear off like my leg, we take them off, and there's like more under my shoe, and that's what really made me panic because like they were hidden.
And then I took his shoe, and there's the mother, the queen leech, on the bottom of his shoe, like a big one. The others are like the size of a grain of rice, like stuck all over his foot.
Oh, okay.
But like but this one, and that's when I finally started panicking. Like, oh my god, there's actual leeches.
Luckily, fortunately, there was a nurse in the party
in our group,
in our group, and she
was awesome.
Yeah, she was like, we need to get some beer, some alcohol, and like pour it on these things because the salt in it.
Sure.
We'll just slough them off. And it did. It did a great job.
Yeah, so I was like panicking. I was like deep breathing, not looking. And,
sure.
And I was really scared to take my other shoe off because I was convinced it would equally be as infested, but it was not. Luckily, I don't think there was a single one on my other foot, which was a huge blessing. But yeah, and that was.
Did they like once you brushed them off? Did they leave any mark? Like
there were two. One big one, and like I noticed later, like that one there's a small mark.
I think he started bleeding from one, and I literally think it's because he picked it up and just yanked it off, and it had actually adhered to his leg. The other ones hadn't adhered yet.
Yeah, they were stuck, but I don't think they had bitten
right
or whatever. But yeah, I had never had a panic attack before.
And you certainly did.
And I did. That was like my first actual panic attack, where after I knew that I was okay, I was still just like shaking, and I still had a hard time breathing. So that was fun. That was a fun event.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we left that day. We got back and we were like, let's dry off and let's go home.
Yeah, packed up the tent. We were supposed to stay there that night.
And we're just like, I want to go home. Yeah. So
fuck leeches. And follow your intuition because it usually leads you in the right place.
Yeah. Would you say that was your peeve, is the whole event or the leeches specifically?
The leeches specifically, and the rain. I hate rain.
Yeah.
I think rain ruins everything.
In context, I love rain.
Yeah.
But
can you sleep in the rain?
Oh, yeah.
I cannot. So, first of all, rain is fucking with my sleep. And then it literally just ruins anything that I have to go do.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a wedding outside, rain ruins it. You have an event outside, the rain ruins it. Rain just ruins everything.
This is why you shouldn't ever do things outside. Just stay within walls forever.
Yeah. I totally understand, coming from an agricultural living space, that we need rain. Yeah.
Connor, I'm with you. I enjoy the rain.
I enjoy it.
Sometimes when I'm working on my computer, I'll put on a 10-hour thunderstorm sound.
Yeah, I don't do that. I find
relaxing.
that actually annoys me. I've tried.
Then you're focusing on it maybe too much?
No, because it's, and maybe you've just found really good ones, maybe, but they've always sounded even if it's I know this is someone actually held a recorder somewhere and recorded rain, it sounds very fake.
Yeah.
Because you can never, I find I can never get the level right on my computer. Because I want to put it on and listen to music.
Right.
And I can never get it right. I'm just this sounds bad. This just sounds like white noise. It just sounds like whatever, and it kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
So I love sleeping because my window is right at the head of my bed. So when it rains, it hits in not like a hard hitting pattern, but that that
piddle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
I agree with you.
I like driving in the rain.
Oh, I do not like that.
I don't like driving necessarily on the like
the monsoons.
Right. Yeah, I don't want necessarily when driving on the highway in the rain, but driving around town or in downtown like, I don't know what our policy is anymore about, like, saying names of places.
I mean, I just don't say the town that we're in or around.
Okay,
but...
well, like, the larger city that we are not currently in, but go to often. Yeah. Like, I love being downtown and sort of like, oh, like, it's raining. Like, that's nice. I
think it's, I don't love it. I think it's fine. Rain in general, I like during the daytime. There's something about, like, it being bright outside and raining that's, like, just weird in a good way. I hate rain at night. I think when the sun goes down, the rain should go down.
See, I can tolerate rain at night because I'm sleeping, even though I can't sleep during the rain.
It's not ruining anything.
It's not because I'm sleeping, yeah. Because, like, rain comes and most of the time there's thunder with it, and then I'm like, okay, is my phone charged enough that, like, my alarm clock will go off if the power goes out? And, like, it just constantly worries me about something. Yeah. So then I can't sleep.
All right. Well, I'll give my...
Fuck rain and fuck leeches.
I'll give my peeve next.
Sure.
So my peeve is when you're hanging out with friends and people make a joke about, like, drinking games, and they say, oh, there should be a drinking game where every time X happens, you take a drink. But the X they choose is just whatever they notice happens a lot. I don't know if you guys know that.
Oh,
yeah,
right. Okay.
You can't have a drinking game where you're just drinking every, like, 10 seconds. It has to be gradually spaced out. People will say, like, I use the word like a lot. And if somebody were to say, oh, take a shot every time you say the word like or whatever, it's like, yeah, I get you're making a funny joke right now, but you know how drinking games are supposed to work, right? They should happen frequently enough that you are drinking, but not so frequently that you will die if you drink it.
Right.
It's like if you take a shot every time somebody says the word the or whatever. It's like, that's not a good drinking game. You guys understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I guess I've never experienced that. We play a drinking game during the holidays when we watch It's a Wonderful Life, and anytime somebody says...
George Bailey.
George Bailey, you have to take a drink.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I like the drinking game where you put, like, a hat on a TV, and every time it looks like somebody's wearing a hat.
That's exciting, because, like, it hardly ever happens, so you're just like, you ever play that? Where you put a hat on the corner of a TV, and, like, when it lines up right, you take a drink.
Where it looks like somebody's wearing the hat?
No.
Oh, shit. It's fun. Cool. Yeah, so that's my peeve. Whenever somebody's like, oh, there should be a drinking game every time somebody says that, or anytime somebody does that, which is a thing they do a lot, and it's like...
Some are acceptable, I think.
It depends on what it is.
Right. Yeah. So, like, I always... Like, for me, the quintessential, like, drinking game experience that I've had is the Batman movie, the Adam West Batman movie. And... anytime there's bat whatever or something bat, like, you drink. And, like, that's a lot, but, like, again, it's not
too much.
It's not death. If you have, like, if you're drinking shots,
okay.
But, like, if you have, like, a beer or, like, a drink of something and, like, you take
a good, healthy drink every time.
Yeah, like, you're fine. Like, you're absolutely fine. Yeah.
Although we combined several of those when we watched it once. We did whenever it was bat something, whenever Robin had one of his, like, holy something Batman or whatever. Yeah. Or whenever a bam or a onomatopoeia appeared on the screen.
Yeah.
And then,
or a sequence of onomatopoeia, because, like, there are, because it's,
you know what I mean? And we grouped those into one.
We grouped those into,
And we said, we're not drinking, we're gonna have, like, Dr. Pepper or something, and we'll take a swig of it.
No, we would have been dead.
We counted, it was over 100, and we're like,
oh my gosh.
So that was a bad one, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's my peeve. Drinking game. People who don't understand the rules of drinking games, and they're just like, oh, a lot of something is
happening. A lot of things, get it? Like, you'll be drunk. It's like, well,
yeah. But then
let's just be drunk, I don't know. I mean, eventually, I don't, especially if, like, you're watching a movie. I just get bored with it, and it's just like, okay, fuck.
Sometimes you just forget, and, like, you realize, oh, they've said George Bailey like 5 times, and I just didn't even realize it.
By that time, my beer's, like, warm, and I'm like, ugh.
I don't like doing drinking games to a film I'm not super familiar with,
because then you're just focusing on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and I'm not really enjoying the movie. Like, even, like,
you're distracted.
Yeah, and it's clear. I mean, I wouldn't do a drinking game to a movie I've never seen.
Right.
But, like, the only movies I could really say I would ever do a drinking game to is that Adam West Batman movie and The Room. I've seen The Room probably more than any other movie I've ever seen.
Fair. That is fair.
So what are the rules?
I don't know. There
make up some. Our listeners want to know.
I mean, they know them. Like, that's,
whenever somebody says, oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Yeah, anytime,
there's an exposition shot.
Anytime Johnny or Tommy Wiseau's character, like, laughs inappropriately. Not just, like, laugh, because there are times where he laughs and it's like, it's clearly scripted to laugh, and that's fine. But, like, laughs probably because Tommy Wiseau didn't understand what he wrote and thought it was funny, and it's not... I have cancer. It's not funny.
My favorite GIF from The Room and it was like a meme where somebody posted the comment like, my reaction when Mark Zuckerberg says that Facebook is going to like stop storing users' data and like spying on their privacy, and it's Tommy Wiseau going, ha ha ha, what a story, Mark. It kills me.
That's really good.
Also, every time You Are My Rose plays, that's more than once during the movie.
Yeah, that's...
weirdly.
Yeah.
So good list. It's not too much, but it's more than you'd expect. I've
seen like rules, like drinking game rules of that movie specifically online, and some of them are good. Some of them are like it's pared down. It's only like 4 or 5 things that aren't like big things that happen in the film. It's like, oh, you have to know the movie, right? You have to know they're coming, and they're kind of like chuckle-worthy things.
That's good. That's kind of like bingo,
right? But some are like, oh, it's a list of 20 things. It's like, oh, literally anytime something happens at all in this movie, you take
Any given moment is bound to have a drinking thing. That's how you know it's a bad one.
Yeah.
So that's my peeve.
Yeah.
Would you like to peeve at it?
Sure. So my peeve is pretty general, but I'm going to focus it through a specific event.
Okay.
My peeve is unrealistic expectations.
I have a lot of them. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
like truly unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
And my example is a little benign, and it may not give the point across, but it's the one that's actually like irritating me like in the moment. Sure. So a friend of ours, who I'm not going to name, moved from an apartment in a town to another apartment in the same town. Okay. So not that bad, and it's a bigger space, and
you're describing yourself so far. So
yeah.
I'm on the lookout for
No, not the same apartment complex. Yeah.
Okay. Different. Okay. No, actually, it's a really good place that they moved into. Anyway, they were going to be able to get into the place before their lease was up.
Sure.
Good.
And it would buy like 1 month. So like, we will pay 1 month. We'll finish out the lease here. That way we can have peace of mind and go and unpack and move over there slowly.
Sure.
Great.
Good plan.
Their big day that they were going to do was, I think, like the 1st or 2nd of August. So coming up. So that's what I planned on, because I said I would help, and I was asked if I would help.
And you probably cleared your schedule for those days.
I didn't clear my schedule, but because I knew I could just easily say, like, no, I have plans. Right. But, like, mentally, I had cleared my schedule, or I had at least anticipated,
that
this is what I'm going to be doing, either one of those days or both of those days, whatever. Sure. Oh, and might I point out that in order for me to get to this place, where he has people there to help, it takes me an hour to get there and an hour to come back.
Yeah.
So that
where
is
you live?
From where I live to where he lives.
Okay.
Not to where he's gonna live.
Okay,
but from
wow, that's a long way. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So a total, it's a 2-hour journey that I'm making to help this person move.
Right.
I worked last night. I still work thirds. So I got in bed around 6.
In the morning.
I was planning on getting up at noon, and so when I got a text at 11:30, it didn't really irritate me, because it was like, oh, okay. Like,
it's close to my wake-up time.
Close to my wake-up time. I can easily fall back asleep for 30 minutes and be totally ready to go. Mm-hmm. And it was him saying, hey, are you free? And occasionally he's over this way, and occasionally there have been times where he has been like, are you free? No. Oh, I'm standing outside your apartment. I'll go.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, well, that was nice for you to stop by because you were over, but, so I was thinking it was one of those situations. I'm like, oh, no. So I've already texted him, and he calls. He's like, hey, it was more, hey, what are you doing? Like, literally right this second. Yeah. I'm like, I'm laying in bed. It's like, oh, we're moving today.
And you're like, why?
Right. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Why? Because apparently this new place is trying to make a hold of them. They need to get their keys out of on a specific timeline, and I don't quite understand why they had to be out now today, which tells me there's probably some information
that got missed
that wasn't relayed to me on purpose, and that's fine. That's none of my business.
Okay,
but like, it definitely seemed that way once I got there. That like this isn't like quite adding up, but that's fine. That's fine. Right. So I tell him, I'm like, all right, well, it's gonna take me a while. It's like 11:30 now.
It's gonna take me an hour to get there.
It's gonna take me an hour to get there. And you said you want to start putting things in a moving truck that you don't actually have yet, starting around between 2 and 3. I will leave here at 2. Mm-hmm. I will be there at 3. No, and knowing, and I told him, like, I will only be there to probably help you get all of your big things onto the truck.
Not off of it? No.
Maybe, like, depending on how we hustle and how things are organized and how things are already packed. Because, like, where he lives now is, like, 10 minutes down the road. Because like, it wouldn't have been a problem. Like, maybe I can start helping, but I gotta go, because I'm doing this.
Right. Hello.
He's like, okay, fine, whatever. Okay. Admittedly, I fell back asleep.
Okay. Yeah.
But like
you do.
Well, because you had till 2.
I had till 2 to even leave.
Right.
And I was just like, and like the thought of now getting up and helping somebody move wiped me out.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was like, my body's like, you need more sleep.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so
tired just thinking about it.
slept on and off until about 1.
Yeah.
But between then, he had texted once and called again once. Hey, just making sure, like,
you're coming.
you didn't fall back asleep.
Oops.
And I was like,
why do you care? Like,
yeah.
And I was like, hey, like, I'm, like, we said 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get in the shower, I do all that. I'm literally, like, pulling a shirt over my body, and I see that he called. And a part of me is like,
don't
even answer. Don't even answer.
Yeah.
But I answered, and he's like, hey, I'm just like,
how about you pack some boxes?
Right. I was like, hey, I'm just checking, like, seeing, like, and I'm looking at my watch.
I'm like, I have 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it is 10 to 2. I literally just put on the last article of clothing. I already had my phone, my wallet, my socks are on. All I need to do now is put on my shoes, grab my keys, and walk out the damn door.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in the car.
and I just something about it was like, hey, I'm working on it. Like, I'll be there at 3. Click.
Yeah.
And I'm there at 3. And so, like, this is all a preamble. Okay.
It comes to a point where it's like, I would be there by now if you didn't keep
if you stopped calling.
Right. And so I get there. He's not there. His girlfriend is, who I'm also close friends with. He's off still bringing the truck. Okay, great. But, like, that takes 20 minutes. So
were they packed? No. See, yeah, okay.
Well, no. Well, because
they didn't know
they didn't know.
He was too busy calling you.
Yeah.
Well,
no, something must have.
And as it turned out, like, a lot of people are moving around that area right now, so they had to go to 3 separate U-Haul or moving companies to find a truck.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
So stressful.
Yeah, right. And so he gets there and we start moving stuff. And he starts he's like, can you put stuff in your car? I'm like, okay. All right.
Because that means you gotta
when
go,
are we making the trip to your place? And he only had the U-Haul until 7 anyway.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's totally messed up. And so we put some stuff in my car. We go over. It's like 15 until we get there. It's like we make good time. So it only took 5 minutes. Great. We unload like a big thing over from the truck that would need to get everything else out. And I said, all right, like, do you want to help me get stuff out of my car? And he's like, no, I'm saving that till later.
And you're like, no.
Yeah. And so I looked at who I had talked about. I'm sorry, I said her name. Who I had already established, like, is aware I said that I had to be gone at 5.
Right.
I have to leave at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I turned to her and I'm just like, would you like to help me? And he's like, no. Like, we're waiting. I said, I have to go in 5 minutes. I'll take your stuff with me.
I'll see you later.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said his name too.
That's all right.
And so anyway, this is all interesting. So like the unrealistic expectation that, and his whole thing was like, well, you said you'd help me move.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
But
and guess what?
You should.
I am so dedicated to you as a friend that I had only a few hours, and I spent 2 of them in transit.
Yeah.
Just to help.
Right.
For like an hour and a half ish.
Like.
On a day that I wasn't going to. And like. This was not on my plate.
I woke up and found out about all this. And that and that it was kind of expected of me when he called.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Love him to death. Great. It just, that just really, and I get it. He's stressed too. Like, I absolutely understand. But there was a little bit of tunnel vision, a little bit of this unrealistic expectation that, hey, you've always been there before anytime I've asked you to be there, which is true, and I'm willing to be that. But that unrealistic expectation that I not only drop everything, but that I am the most available possible at
a drop of a
hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get a thank you?
Nope.
Yeah, that's the cherry on top of that.
Because it took a while to get this mattress, because this mattress that they have is just, it's a California King.
Ooh.
Yep. Were you having PTSD of getting?
So do you remember the townhouse I was in?
Yeah,
do you remember how we moved? Their layout is almost identical.
Oh, I remember getting your mattress up those
California
stairs.
King up those stairs. That took us a while, that was why I called. I was like, I am gonna be late.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Perfectly fine.
And so that happened, and we had already gotten the stuff out of my car, and so I'm waiting for another 5 minutes for him to get down from that bed, because I'm ready to go. And not that I need to be shown out. I was already outside, but
But you didn't want to just
I drove an hour there.
Yeah.
I have to drive an hour back. I just helped you move at the drop of a hat. You can say bye.
Right.
Yeah.
And he comes down, and I'm like, hey, I like your place, and I give him kind of a hug, and I'm like, I gotta go. All right, later. And he looks tired because he had the brunt of the job trying to get the mattress up. But you know what? That still took 6 people.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, when I left, more people came. So screw you.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway,
I'm definitely on the end of doing copious amounts of work and getting.
But I don't want to tie this into my question, but kind of going along with the peeve.
Sure.
I said that my peeve was unrealistic expectations. I kind of want to know because you both kind of went, oh yes. I'm kind of curious as to what immediately popped in your head.
Yeah. You go first.
I don't know if I want to talk about it. It'll be fine.
If not, we can edit it later.
Yeah. If not, we can edit it. My best friend got married last year, and I was her maid of honor. And we just did so much for that wedding.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoy planning things, and I enjoyed helping her. I loved the entire process. And then we even get down to literally the day before, and she's crying, and I said, what's wrong? And she's like, well, we don't have anybody to film it. Someone's always going to film it, and now they can't. And I literally am got on the phone, Alex, you're going to film this thing. I didn't even ask. I probably should have asked, but I was just like, you're going to do this.
Expectation.
Yeah. Because I know you love me and you'll do it at the drop of a hat. But yeah, did all that, and just the fact that, and you even hosted the wedding, the reception.
Which was I was already going to do that. On top of that,
right.
It was can you now film it?
Film it, DJ it, call up for speeches, announce the people, that's what he did.
Yeah. Okay.
And and I planned it, and they said, they stood up and they said, oh, thank you so much to Alex and Jody, wouldn't have been possible without this. But and that's fine. But then literally just slide Alex a Starbucks card that like what? It was like $5,
something like
maybe
that.
10.
It was
I don't know. By that time, it's insulting, and you're just like, take.
Honestly, I feel if they hadn't tried to give you anything,
it would have been better.
It would have been like, oh no, like there was public recognition, like, and you guys weren't asking for compensation.
No.
I maybe that was part of the agreement,
not.
right?
Yeah.
So then you weren't asking for it; they weren't expecting to give it, but they decided to, and it was
a Starbucks gift card.
It shows that they thought about it, and this was what they came
honestly,
up with.
like, in situations like that, that's why I love writing people things. Like, if that had been me and it had been you guys, I would have written you guys, like, individual, like, notes and been like, I can't give you compensation, but I want you to know, really appreciate it. I wrote you guys something.
And I got that that was part of, like, my maid of honor gift. I got a card, but I don't think you did.
I think I did.
We got, thank you notes after the wedding for the gifts and stuff, but...
The generic sort of, like, thanks for coming and attending.
Yeah. It literally was like, here, Alex, take this Starbucks gift card for all your trouble. Like, and then we, like, edited their entire wedding video, and it was awesome for somebody who's never done that before, and for free. So
see that to me is almost that's the unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
Is like that's a ton of work. Editing footage like that is
3 different cameras.
Yeah,
getting
like I imagine at least 4 hours of footage a piece.
It was just a ceremony.
It was just a ceremony, so it was like 20-30 minutes.
An hour of footage,
Okay, so not bad, but still
3 hours across all 3 cameras.
Yeah.
Well, right, exactly.
I didn't have as much of a problem with this as you did, but I still understand exactly.
I just was whipped after it. I was just like, nobody talked to me about weddings. Nobody talked to me about anything.
Yeah. Just somebody talk to me. I'm just unavailable for a while.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have an event, but my parents, specifically my mother, are very much like, I'm going to ask you to do this, and you're going to come do this.
No, they're going to ask you.
I mean, they always do put a question mark at the end, but it's implied that it's not a question. Like, hey, you want to come and help with this? You want to help your dad do the garbage today? And it's just like, there's no way I can get out of this. Like, why are you asking? I'm not going to be able to tell you no. You expect me to do this. If I said no, they'd be like, well, why not? It's like, well, because it's not my house. I don't live here. I just happen to be here during garbage time, so you're asking for my help, which you don't need.
I was getting the image of, like, her calling you up.
Oh, no.
You come over and, like, which is why I was like, what?
Yeah, she might do that.
She would do that.
Yeah. So they just constantly expect me to be available at all times.
Oh, and, like, your dad doesn't have a car right now.
Right.
And I know that you two work at the same place.
Uh-huh.
But the fact that, like, he'll, like, take your car.
I always offer it.
But do you?
Yes.
I don't think you do.
All right, well, I do. Every time, like, there are times where I don't have to go to... for example, I don't work on Tuesdays right now, or Fridays, but he doesn't work on Fridays either. He works on Tuesdays, and I don't. So I'll be like, do you want to take my car? And he'll say yes. In fact, this most recent Tuesday, I said, I need my car on Tuesday, so can you get a ride from somebody else? He said yes. So, like, I am able to be like, I need this, but
in the past, they have not asked.
Right.
They've demanded.
So, my parents are like that. Mm-hmm. Wow, good peeves. I feel like these are all really good, deep ones.
Like, nice, cathartic.
Yeah. We all feel cleansed now. Or worse.
Yeah.
Weirdly. So let's move on to our next segment. Qs.
Yeah.
Where we ask each other questions.
So did your question, like, tie in with that, or that was like a
I wanted to be like, hey, like this like I want to ask a question that's not I just wanted to drill down on this thought here.
Do you have a question?
Pass. Okay, yeah, I'll come back around.
Clever girl.
Sure. Been waiting to, like, ask this with people who actually care and like have, probably have an answer to this.
More opinions.
Okay. Marvel. Let's start with that. Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
It's big.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
I love it so far.
Okay. So there's all these characters.
Yeah.
And there's all these actors who play these characters.
Yeah.
If you could change an actor to play a certain role, which one would it be and why?
So you're taking a character and you're replacing the actor for that character.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought long and hard.
I know, we already know, but go ahead.
This is...
Is this going to surprise me, or is it not?
We'll get there. Hold on.
The one that you're going to speak of didn't even cross my mind, honestly. I have two. I'll give my honorable mention and then I'll give my real one. I would take Robert Downey Jr. out as Iron Man and I would put George Clooney.
Now, explain yourself.
No. Absolutely not. I don't see that.
You're right. I'm curious as
walk me through it.
You like George Clooney.
I like George Clooney as much as someone can like George Clooney.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, most people agree that Robert Downey Jr. is like the perfect Tony Stark. You just don't have an attachment.
I don't like
Robert Downey.
I don't like Robert Downey Jr.
That's fine, yeah.
And I guess what I mean by that is I just don't like the way Iron Man is played. And I'm sure that's how it's supposed to be done.
It's uncanny.
Yeah.
I just want to
uncanny.
Nice.
I just want to like Iron Man. I think I'd like him more if he was George Clooney.
I completely respect that.
Okay, now my real answer is I would take Gwyneth Paltrow out as Pepper and put in Charlize Theron.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because
she's too good though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is that because Pepper's a good character.
Yeah. Oh, you think?
And they just threw her away because Gwyneth is a bitch to work with. I'm sure.
That is true. I've heard that. So you're thinking that her character would be given more importance if she were played by somebody.
Yes, and she's just. I just love her. She's great.
Oh, she is. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. I really like that answer.
Yeah.
I'll go next. So
Uma Thurman
as Pepper?
As Pepper.
Yeah.
Modern day Uma Thurman? Or
as opposed
90s
to
like Uma Thurman from like
Pulp Fiction.
From Batman and Robin.
No, from Kill Bill.
Okay.
From
early 2000s.
My Super Ex-Girlfriend, which I haven't really seen all of that, but it's okay.
Okay.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So I am not crazy about Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, that didn't even cross my mind either. And I don't like her either.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, I want to replace her as Black Widow because I really like the Black Widow character.
I cannot wait to hear what you say.
You might be disappointed because I was like really struggling to be like, who would be a really good... And I decided that maybe this wouldn't be great, but it would be different. And that's Rachel McAdams. Because
I wouldn't be mad at that.
She has like the sex appeal that that ScarJo has, but she's also not irritating to see. Yeah. So I think she might have to like work to be as like acrobatic as that because I don't know that she is, but she's definitely sexy and she's definitely like coy and like, ooh, I'm a bad girl. So she would have that element to the character. So that would be interesting to see. I really like Rachel McAdams, so.
You know who else would be if they played it just a tad bit older? Sarah Michelle Gellar would have been amazing as Black Widow.
If they had cast her even older as Sarah Jessica Parker.
Can we not? Can we not?
And now there's something that I want to touch on that Connor, I'll invite you to sit back and like not make any comments about.
What?
But Andrew Garfield is Spider-Man. Okay, so what would you say as a good?
No, this is really hard because something...
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
Because something that I think the best thing Marvel Studios has always done
is casting.
Is they truly find, maybe not always like the best,
but top percentile.
But like absolutely, but after you see the movie and you see them in either sequels or like in that character in like some other property or IP, you kind of go, yeah, no, like that's okay, that's fine, that's for what they're going for. This person is in line with that vision or that direction.
Yeah.
Vision.
Paul Bunny, yeah.
God, this is really hard.
It is because a lot of them are great, and I agree with them so much. But there are some that you're just like,
they should have a scene with Nebula and Vision in the same scene.
So
that'd be cool.
Honestly, I think Nebula would be the one I would recast.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who do you
with who?
But that's the thing. I don't know.
Charlize Theron.
But here's the thing.
I'm for it.
Okay. I cannot speak to Karen Gillan's or Gillian's. I always mess up her last name. I feel really bad about it. But like, I think she is a competent, good actor.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going on with Nebula.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I get narratively, I totally understand, and she's executing it as an actor. That's like, I still understand exactly what's happening and what they're trying to do with the character, but there's something about the way she goes about it that I'm just like,
Yeah.
Have you ever watched someone and you're catching them acting?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like I'm catching her put on a voice, put on an accent,
and
push
hard.
And
she pushes really hard.
Yeah. And so, like, I love Guardians Volume 2, but she was, for me, definitely one of the weakest of that. Mm-hmm. I didn't give a shit about her in the first one. Yeah. But maybe you weren't really supposed to.
You're supposed to hate her.
Like, you're supposed to, like, at the end go, oh, maybe there's more to it.
Yeah.
Which is why she shows up again. And
right.
kind of, but God, I don't know. Because here's the thing. While I don't necessarily think she does the best job, they're doing something right, because I truly can't be like, oh, like this other person. Like, she's kind of...
She really does fit the role.
Because she's angry.
Yeah.
Or she's cast in angry roles, I should say.
Yeah. Maybe we can come back to it if you...
Yeah, come back to that. Mm-hmm. You didn't say.
Good character, though. Yeah, he gave his.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, there are a lot of, like, specific things where I'm like, this person... Well, the answer...
You said Black Widow, right? Yeah,
there are a lot of little things where I'm like, this would have been... In retrospect, this might have been a little bit... It would have been very different, but maybe better if it had been done in a different way, and I think that sometimes comes with a different performer. For example, Star-Lord, especially in Infinity War, is so over-the-top goofy and, like...
I think
just out of place in... like the drama of that movie.
They probably just let Chris Pratt be Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Instead of because when, he got out of Parks and Rec, okay, he's the funny guy. And then they started transitioning him into okay, he's going to be an action guy now too. Mm-hmm. And so and you can see it in Jurassic World, and you can see it in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Yeah.
That okay, there is hints of Chris Pratt in here, but for the most part we're playing these characters. Cut to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I'm guessing Infinity War, I haven't seen it, and Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom. They're just letting Chris run the show. Because, it doesn't... People, I think they think the audience is oh, they're going to see it because Chris Pratt's in it.
Right. Which is not untrue.
Yeah, it's totally not untrue, but Chris, come on. Again, I know you listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I know you're there. Tap, tap.
Yeah.
Can I say the character as director of a movie? Sure. I would replace Taika Waititi, is that his name? From Thor Ragnarok? Yeah. I would replace him...
Who does he
Really?
With...
what is that? Who is that?
Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. The third one.
I know what movie you're talking about. Who are you talking about?
He directed the movie.
Gotcha.
And I would replace him with, is it Roland Emmerich? He's the guy who directs, Independence Day and all those apocalyptic movies. And I would give Taika Waititi Thor: Dark World or some other movie that was bad. That would give him the opportunity to make a really good movie. Because here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Thor Ragnarok was a very good movie. He did a great job directing that movie. But that movie should not have been as funny as it was. Should not have been a comedy.
Do you think that's a Disney thing, though?
No, I think it's him. I think it was him.
Do you think it was?
I absolutely do, because
I think Disney approved it. They wouldn't have done that. Because
do you guys know how he got how they finally approved? Because he was in the running, and he was put up against a couple of different directors that were kind of not no name, but definitely they were pulling from an independent pool of directors, and he sent a demo reel. Mm-hmm. Of cuts from the first two Thor movies.
Yeah.
And cut it in a certain way to tell a kind of narrative flow that Ragnarok has. Oh. And he put it to The Foreigner.
The score?
The score.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So I would
that's interesting.
I would put him in a movie that I think most people agree was not a great film, Thor 2, and that way he can improve that and still get his like funny movie and great movie that he wants to make. And then I would give a director who's known for like apocalyptic destruction movies to the movie that's supposed to be apocalyptic and destructive.
Here's why I disagree with the notion that Thor Ragnarok needed to be heavier. I don't think it needed to be less funny. I think it needed to have more reverence and heavier to the material.
Yeah.
But here's why I think that might be a tonal mistake.
Yeah.
The next movie to come out
that is exactly what I was going to say. You're heading into Infinity War. You cannot go down.
And they knew that tonally. Yeah. And I think they were like, hey, we're gonna approve this guy. You can definitely, you've made a movie on $5 million. You can definitely do it with, $150 million, or however much Ragnarok.
Technically, Black Panther came out before.
Yeah, but I just, but like,
still, it's right next.
It's right next.
I understand.
Like, as far as Thor's story, like it bumps into.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You're going into apocalyptic.
But then also, your next movie is an introduction. Do you want to have an apocalypse and then I try to have fun with this and then it's... I don't know. Like, I understand absolutely where you're coming from because I had that same thought when watching Ragnarok going, man, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I like this a lot. But man, I kind of want it to also be something very different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I liked
basically
it,
the first
but I wanted
scene. I didn't like it.
The first scene was probably pretty egregious. But yeah, also... Rick Moranis as Ant-Man, just because of Honey.
Oh my god!
I have not seen the second one. I don't really plan on it.
You should.
It's good.
Okay.
I didn't want to go see it, and I did, and I was pleasantly surprised.
As much as I like Paul Rudd, I want to see Rick Moranis again.
Does it have more focus than the first one?
Sure. I don't think I noticed a lack of focus in the second one.
What do you want to focus on? The characters?
So here's what I mean by the first Ant-Man, I think, had a lot of lack of focus in that it didn't know if it wanted to be a comedy
or an action movie,
a dramedy, or a genre film. And so it was kind of all of those. And it, to me, was sort of like, I don't know what you're doing. But, like, I've heard Ant-Man 2 is, like, kind of, like, genre heist film.
Yes.
Like, it's also funny. It's a comedy, but, like, it's a heist movie.
That's exactly what I would call it.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I thought the first one was, like, a funny heist movie, so I don't know what to tell you.
I thought the first one was cheap funny, and this one's not as cheap with the funny.
I tell you what, one of the biggest mistakes the marketing team did with the first Ant-Man was put Thomas the Tank Engine in the trailer.
Yes.
Right, yeah. I've talked about this.
That's exactly what you said when we came out.
Oh my god.
And I never watched the trailers, so...
The funniest part of the movie is with that stupid train.
This is going to be a future peeve of mine, so I'm going to stop talking about it, but I get what you're talking about.
I also would replace Wasp, just because I just don't think she brings anything to the game.
Gillian Lilly.
Yeah.
I like her, but...
I like her... Here's what I did like about Ant-Man, is I like the two of them, because she provided a good straight man for Paul Rudd's goofy character.
Yeah.
I guess.
And the way she's a straight man.
Although, I'm tired of, like, male goofballs with female straight characters. Like, I'm tired of your nonsense, but also still being in love with the character anyway.
Yeah.
You see it so much that it's...
but there's a ton of fucking movies where the girl's the fuck up and the guy's the straight guy and they still fall in love with each other. Like, House Bunny, like... I Feel Pretty, any Amy Schumer movie, like any of them. They're all that.
I think just have two funny people together and have, like, another straight character. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or here's what I think Parks and Rec does well. Ben is the straight man. But he's got his own...
He's got his own problems.
Like, separate, like...
niches.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, he is the straight man in almost every... Like, I think specifically of the scene where... Spoilers. Where he's laid off and without a job and he's making that stop-motion claymation.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris comes over. And in the context of the scene, if it were two different characters... the Chris Traeger character would be the straight man.
Yeah.
But because of the dynamic of the show, Chris Traeger is still
goofy,
but like you're absolutely supposed to be like, oh no, Chris is right.
Yeah. He's the one who's like, oh, this is weird, and where.
So you find ways within that character. Why is what they're doing funny a good, like, not block, that's not really what I mean, but like a good, like, foil, like, I think, like, a more solid, grounded character.
Yeah.
To the sort
I feel, exactly, they didn't, there's just nothing to Wasp. There's just, she's just kind of there.
Yeah,
even though she physically does a good job.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They didn't give her anything.
Evangeline Lilly is very good at specific types of characters, and I don't know for sure that Wasp was like the best fit for her. But I think she did a fine job.
Spoilers, I don't know if you know this. Since you said you're not going to go see Ant-Man 2.
But I've seen the end because I work in a movie theater.
The after credit sequence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Michelle fucking Pfeiffer is in it, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer. And talk about, she's really good.
She probably was.
She brings it, and she's hardly even in that movie.
She probably was in the trailers, but I didn't
watch
them. So she was a surprise when she showed up.
That look that I had that you looked at me, that I had a moment. I figured out who I would recast as Nebula, and I think this person could also do a decent job as Black Widow.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Jessica Chastain.
Ooh, yeah. I considered her for some.
No, who is that?
Yeah, I don't think you would know who she is.
Let me look it up. Go ahead.
She's got a very prominent chin that you might recognize.
Yeah,
chins.
She's McConaughey's daughter, grown up in Interstellar. If you haven't seen, she was
in The Huntsman or Snow White and the whatever.
Right, she played a minor character.
Oh, I was going to say Kristen Stewart.
Oh, the second one. She was in the second one. Yeah, she was most recent.
Oh, okay.
You might recognize her.
She's super good. She's great. I saw her recently in Molly's Game.
Mm-hmm.
You know who she looks like?
Who does she look like?
She looks like Bryce Dallas Howard, who I don't like. So.
Oh, I like her.
Me too, yeah.
We're not opening the box.
Okay, well, so that was
my question.
That was a really good question, and I feel like I'll come up with more answers as time goes by.
Yeah.
We can have a part 2.
Yeah, so, do you want to ask a question, or do you want me to? I can go.
Mine is definitely a closer.
Okay, well then I'll go.
Yeah.
So what is something from your childhood, or it could be later in life, that you constantly find yourself coming back to? Not just like recently, like, oh, I'm getting back into this, but throughout periods of your life, you're like, I'm going to pick this up again, and then it fades away, and then you're like, I'm going to bring this back.
So you're asking something from your childhood that you are like something that you can enjoy. So it's not like memories or events,
right?
Like it's an actual thing of like, oh, I can physically like re-enjoy this or get back into
like a movie, TV show,
okay.
game.
10 guesses what yours are. Go ahead.
What do you think I'm going to say? I want to know because you're probably right.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I was going to say Pokemon.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned Pokemon Go like in passing, and I was like, I'm going to re-download that app. So I re-downloaded Pokemon Go. I've been getting back into that, and then I'm like, I have a Nintendo 3DS. I'm going to buy for like $5 or whatever Pokemon Yellow version, Gen 1 on my 3DS. So I've been playing that, and I'm like, you know what? I love Pokemon. I'm like, I'm on a huge kick. I'm back in fully. And I do this. I've noticed this throughout my life. I've never like given up on, I've never been like, I'm done with Pokemon for now. I'm always like, every couple of years, I'm like, I'm going to play those games again because they're so good. So for me, Pokemon.
Yeah, good.
Do you guys have something from your past? It can either be like you picked it up later, or it can be from childhood, whatever.
I don't know, because, and this is something that I've kind of always been cognizant of. The things I liked when I was 8 are the same things I like now.
Yeah.
My taste in them,
right,
and how I consume them and how I look at them and how I enjoy them has matured and changed. But like there are things that might come and go, but like they're always like super prominent. I'm always very aware that they're very prominent in like how who I am and what I do and what I like, and play a part in like other things that I enjoy or get into. So like, but like I think a good example is like I'm getting back into like the cartoons.
Yeah,
I used to watch because Taylor and I got Hulu again recently, and like a ton of like the Nickelodeon cartoons, not even like not like Teen Titans or like the things when we were a little older. I mean the things like when I was like 5, like 6, 7, 8,
Rugrats,
like Rugrats is one of them, and I'm like,
Rocko's
this show is so good, and now I'm watching it as an adult and with an adult's taste, and I'm like, these are still so good,
exactly.
Yeah,
that cartoon broke just so much ground when it came out, and I think that's what makes it. Yeah,
Rugrats.
Bring it back.
Huh? They're bringing it back.
Of course they are.
That's weird.
Yeah, but they're changing it.
Oh, I bet.
Of course they are.
And not in a way that like that stupid ass sequel that they made, like
All Grown Up.
Oh,
like, I didn't mind
that.
But
They're all like back as kids, back as babies. But like,
I want them to be babies, but I want them to have the history of All Grown Up and be like, we were adults and now we're babies. What is this hell?
But like, one of the changes is like Tommy's dad is like a stay-at-home dad, which he kind of was before.
Right, but he was
he was an inventor and he was he was kind of like a toy maker. And he still does that. But like the mom is definitely
a working woman.
Like, oh my god, like I have a child for a husband, which again, that was kind of there before, but it's very highlighted because like we're very aware of like.
Yeah.
Well, that might be like the times of how stories are told changing.
Well, right.
Well, and they made that cartoon when like in the 90s when women just
early 90s too.
When women just like they just literally like put up with anything. Like women had rights and all that stuff, but like you just kind of you got in your marriage, and this was before the whole like divorce at the drop of a hat. So you're just like, yeah, I'm in this, and that's just kind of how it is. So that was the 90s.
Yeah. Have you noticed a cartoon that you've tried watching that just doesn't hold up, that you're like, oof, this is rough to watch nowadays?
That's a good question.
Because I have one.
There are a couple, but they're ones that I kind of knew going in. Like, I might be ruining
some memories.
Some memories. Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Because that's written very the CG and the way they animated it was very it's very dated. It's bad. Like it's just bad, but like not by the standard of when it was produced, but like the writing is bad. So it's like, ooh, like there are broader themes that this episode is tackling, but like it's going about it really poorly, I think, and it kind of.
When I go back and look at Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah,
some episodes hold up super well, and other ones I'm like, you could have tried harder.
Goosebumps does not hold up. Trying to watch those.
No, it doesn't.
Those are.
What about Secrets from the Crypt?
I don't know. I really want to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark again? I was going to say Tales from the Dark Side.
That's not even a thing yet.
But Courage the Cowardly Dog is another one that I tried watching like the first episode of that.
They're all the same.
And it was like very eclectic, very like high energy and like weird.
I feel like Ed and Eddie didn't hold up very well.
Not,
I didn't really like it when it came out.
I didn't either because I was on the cusp of getting out of that.
Yeah.
They had one episode that was like very surreal and like mind-breaking where like they were messing with reality. Like at one point somebody picked up the moon from the sky and like ate it like a cookie. People would like pull off other people's outlines and they would turn into like paint. It was just like a very weird cartoonish episode that I liked that one, but the rest of
I love the fan theory of that show.
Yeah.
That they're all
one person?
like they're dead.
Yeah, but they're all dead from like different eras in time because each character kind of like represents like a different decade. Yeah. I just literally today, this keeps happening. Literally today, I watched a YouTube video that was like really cool. 25 Nickelodeon cartoon theories that will ruin your childhood.
I love those and hate them at the same time because they do ruin it. I will always go back to Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
And it's really hard because that show has never gone off the air. They just keep reinventing it with like Dino Rangers and like they just keep redoing it. But I'm talking like OG American Power Rangers. Amy Jo Johnson, Austin St. John,
Mighty Morphin season 1.
Yeah, Mighty Morphin. Bryan Cranston is the Monsters. Yeah. That. I'll always go back to that.
Red Ranger.
Yeah.
Apply yourself.
Power Rangers, yeah. I'll always go back to that. I'll always go back to Dinosaurs, Jim Henson's Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I watched it the other day. That was a groundbreaking show.
It was.
It took real world problems that adults were facing and what problems with the world and came out of the mouths of dinosaurs.
For kids.
In front of adults. And just like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be so stupid, or, you know?
Right.
I love Jim Henson, I love robotics and animatronics and all that.
It's very
Good
cool.
stuff.
It's very cool show.
Yeah.
So, did you ever watch it? You ever watch Dinosaurs?
No, I never did. Like, what network was it? Was it
ABC.
on? ABC, yeah, you know what? I bet you my parents actually tried to keep me away from it.
Maybe.
Well, no, because when I was little, I had to think about puppets. They freaked me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like people in costumes, like the Easter Bunny, or like Disney World. Like, just I couldn't.
Yeah.
So like. I think it was just sort of like, oh, like, here's this cool thing. It's like, don't, like, make sure you don't have the TV on this station. Like,
yeah.
Because I would be like, nope.
That's cool. Good.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it as a kid?
No. I didn't know it was a thing until later. Sorry.
Like, my parents were like, yeah, watch that shit.
It's really good, though. You and I have watched episodes, and I really liked it. Yeah.
It's
cool.
Great.
So, yeah.
So those are my two things that I always kind of pick up.
I really want to watch the Jackie Chan Adventures.
I don't think that's a thing.
No,
I've never seen it.
It's a show. I never finished it because I was a kid, and like when you're a kid and shows are on, you never get to like watch every episode when it comes out because like you don't know what schedules are and you don't know when.
Back then they didn't have it on demand, so you could just like pull it out of your ass whenever you wanted.
You have to like wait for it.
TV Guide.
Yep.
guide?
Yeah, we had to
guide.
look it up in the TV guide.
And
And then sometimes it would be on because
books.
the president would come on and talk about something. Yeah.
The thing that I remember so vividly is watching or trying to watch like Star Trek as it's airing.
Yeah.
But there had been like there was a bowl game.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's like, but it's at like 9 o'clock at night. Like, I don't understand like why it's on, and I still don't understand like why networks schedule things that late. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just like, what? Like, my brain could not comprehend. Like, we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What is that?
what is this?
I want my show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, good question.
Good quest.
So you have a closing question for the group?
Oh, all right. So bear with me because the concept is kind of forming as we go too. It's heavy too.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Do you think? Because I also don't know quite how to frame it either.
Yeah.
Do you think it is possible to have a conversation about the negative effects of the Me Too Time's Up movement without being labeled as against the Me Too Time's Up movement? And clearly still be in support of that.
I'm sure there are ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean like us. I mean like someone in the public.
Right.
It would be really
right. That's what I'm
really
saying.
hard.
Like it would it needs to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to happen right now.
This is something that I've thought about because sometimes there tends to be a very samey voice on the internet that is saying one thing and it's all part of the same movement. It gets grouped in together and the same groups of people are saying these things. And whenever a part of that becomes something that you might not agree with and you come out against that and you're like, actually this one part of it I don't know about, it, you do get labeled immediately as like, oh, then you're on the opposite side of all of this. And that's not always true. Sometimes I'll want to like make a comment on somebody's like post like, do you think it's actually, I mean, I don't know about that. But I've also seen people do that and be like, I don't know about this, and like immediately be branded as like a hostile force in the thing. And
I mean, literally, I think I've seen it like on Facebook. So, a man in Florida murdered murders a woman. And then you, like, go down to the comments, the, like, fourth one is like, I mean, I think he has the right to do that. And you're like, what?
What?
There's always somebody out there that's going to be like, maybe not. And, like, I think that's when you get blurred of, like, well, is that person a piece of shit, or do they really have a good idea? Like,
right.
It's like the straw thing. Like, yes, straws are bad.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, some people need straws still, so let's not ban all of them. How about we all just either, make biodegradable straws, or fucking get off your ass and recycle it.
Right, yeah.
Like, let's not ban them, because some people need them.
I wonder who needs a straw.
People with mental disabilities need straws.
Physical disabilities.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, suck it. No.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think specifically about things that happened with... And these are two very different kinds of events.
I think I might know.
James Gunn.
Yes.
And Chris Hardwick.
Uh-huh.
James Gunn basically... Mm-hmm. And this is a severely oversimplification, so I urge anyone listening to not take to research this further. Yeah. But I'm going to do my best to boil this down as accurately as I can. Mm-hmm. James Gunn was taken down by a far right group that, in retaliation of someone bringing up a Republican senator's old tweets, which James Gunn had brought to light, and they basically did, we're going to do a takedown piece and create sock puppet accounts, and we're going to bring all these old tweets back up. Now, these tweets are horrible, inappropriate, offensive. Mm-hmm. I would argue some of them are just downright transphobic.
Yeah.
Whether his intention was or not, it is.
Yeah.
When he was hired by Disney, Marvel, but the Disney, the mouse.
Yeah. The ears.
To helm Guardians and then take over sort of the Marvel cosmic, cinematic, whatever, he was told, you have to publicly acknowledge and acknowledge that you did this, apologize, and say exactly like how bad that this was and how you've and he did that.
Right.
He did that publicly. He did that. I believe he also did that at a private shareholders meeting with Marvel Studios, and he did it on many social media platforms. It was brought up again. What's trending right now for business, what's good for business, is to swiftly execute a purge of this, and that trends well for us.
Yeah.
Or you could just not respond and see where the wind is actually blowing, not where people are telling you it's coming from. Mm-hmm. And on the James Gunn side, and I'm going to talk about Chris Hardwick here in a second, but the James Gunn part of this is I find James Gunn's how he has handled all of this to be remarkable and to be something to be admired. He has not once said, I disagree with the decisions. He has not once said, that was in the past. He has not said, I don't understand.
Right.
Every statement since he was fired from Disney is, I understand why they did it. I think if they felt that was necessary, then it was necessary. I apologize for the things I said. It was wrong. I will never do it again. Mm-hmm. Because I have grown as a person.
Right.
So I don't know how much traction this whole campaign to rehire James Gunn. I don't know if that's something that Marvel Studios and Disney can take back at this point.
I think they could.
I mean, they could, but I mean,
the mouse wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
would they?
Yeah. You take a bullet for the mouse. The mouse doesn't take a bullet for you.
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, because it has already been a PR nightmare letting him go, the simplest solution, the quickest solution is to just move on.
Yeah.
It's wrong, I think, but okay. Now, and I'm going to try to make this very brief, the whole Chris Hardwick thing. Like, what bothers me about it is not that someone allegedly came forward and told the public about things that he allegedly did that were horrible and wrong.
Yeah.
And would be things that if that tarnished a brand or a company or affected the operations and therefore profit of a business are fireable, and also to take a moral stand on the whole thing. I don't know. My issue isn't that. It's that a woman who has a blog wrote a takedown piece on someone who is not a journalist, whose own credentials were not vetted and approved by any journalist institute to provide her own credibility. None of her stories could be corroborated, and therefore not vetted, and therefore not put through. I don't know. Like, I have all of these thoughts, and they're just swimming, and I know I'm just rambling at this point, but it really bothers me that in the middle of this amazing thing that is happening, that is the Me Too movement,
mm-hmm.
and how great and how enlightening that is, and how it is sort of taking out the trash
right.
mm-hmm.
of the people that absolutely do not deserve to be in this business or step foot in any position of authority where they might have any sort of hold over another human being.
One might say draining the swamp.
Right, draining the swamp. But like in the middle of that, there's this.
Yeah.
And I wonder if a company or if a person of legitimate authority can sort of stand in the center and say, hey, cut it the fuck out. You're kind of making everyone else seem crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To the people you need to convince that this is a good thing.
Right.
I don't know.
I think you're gonna, when we go through these big movements in history, unfortunately you're gonna have casualties like this.
Yeah.
And most of them are good casualties and are bringing light to it, like you said, and making the movement. And unfortunately, you're gonna have bad casualties that just are wrong place, wrong time, wrong thing.
I can't speak to the Chris Hardwick thing, but as far as the James Gunn side of it, it seems like a bad message to put forward to somebody who said some horrible things and has spent a long time trying to come to terms with that and become a better person and change, and then to say, and then for one of the biggest company in the world right now to be like, that doesn't matter. The mistakes you made many years ago are still gonna be punishable.
When he's attached to a brand, superheroes, where if you choose to be better and actively are better, then it doesn't atone, but
in such a public age.
Yeah.
What are young men particularly going to be taking from that? Like, you don't need to work to be better because it doesn't matter. You still did a bad thing, so you're garbage now forever.
Well,
like,
maybe you shouldn't do bad things.
Yeah, you shouldn't do bad things. But if you do, which everybody does, you should be able to grow.
I honestly don't think the young men of right now, I feel bad for them. They don't have a chance. But our children, hopefully the next generation, I don't know, will be a step better.
Yeah, I hope so.
And that's all we can hope.
Yeah.
And where we need to target that is the people who aren't feeling the way that we feel, and hopefully that they don't pass that along to their children. And they will.
Yeah.
But
hopefully that vocal
will be
might,
less.
Right. That's the hope. On a lighter note, I believe Chris Hardwick was just reinstated by AMC, and he got all of his shows back because they had done a private investigation into this person, and they did find out, and they were just like, "Oh no, we were wrong."
That's what's so hard nowadays because you get one piece of information and everybody fucking knows it.
Right.
The second it happens, you can't even...
And I don't even think AMC said, "Oh, we're sorry, we made a mistake, we're bringing it back."
No,
we did an independent investigation. We found that the claims were not legitimate, therefore we're reinstating.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, maybe that is the best way and not apologize. I'm not saying that they should. Like, I find it interesting that, because it was less than 12 hours after this blog went live that they dropped him.
Yeah, it's very reactionary.
And I'm sure there were apologies in the room, but to be like, hey, there was a crazy story on the internet written by an ex-girlfriend of yours that it turns out is actually trying to discredit you on a public stage, and we fell for it.
Mm-hmm. My bad. Yeah.
My bad.
Right.
Yeah. But then you get Roseanne.
Oh my god.
Roseanne, yeah.
Which is a piece of shit. But did they do an investigation on her?
No, they didn't need to.
They didn't
need to.
I think if they did, it was very quick. Because they were like, oh, this is pretty obvious.
I don't know. But in that, what I'm saying is in that situation, they did the right thing of just literally cutting the ties and bye.
In that particular instance, because I've had conversations about that specifically, and how it was immediate. The tweet went up, and it was bam, and someone, I can't remember who it was, but someone was saying that almost seems wrong for them to fire her immediately because they know who she is. I'm that's why I think it was written in her contract that she couldn't misrepresent the brand of the show.
Yep.
And therefore the company and herself, because her name is the brand.
What company was Roseanne airing on? ABC?
I want to say
ABC,
which is owned by CBS. Well, I think it was ABC, which is owned by Disney. So that's interesting.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So
I just love that, her cast members were just yeah, fuck you. Instantly.
That's good, because often...
Even though they know that she's horrible. But
often, whenever a public figure is revealed to be bad,
right,
people try to still be cordial and professional about it.
Yeah, no, Michael Fisher was just no, fuck you.
There's a certain level where it's if somebody is a bad person, it's almost better to be yeah, I knew this person, and they were bad, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat that they were a bad person. It's better to be like that than be I worked with them, they seem nice, that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah. And a lot of people do that. They're most of them don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know.
The secrets of their lives. And so when it comes to light, they almost don't know what to say. They're but, mate. Of course, they don't know if it's true. So maybe they do need to take a second to think about it, but I guess always that gut-wrenching feeling of yep, I don't want anything to do with that. Should be what you feel. But it's hard.
All right. Wow.
Good question.
Very, very deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was Peeves and Qs, you guys. Did you like it? I hope so.
We had lots of ups and downs.
Yeah. If you want to give us a comment or send us an email or whatever, you can do that at peevesandqspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're there. We're at Peeves and Qs. I'm myself on Twitter at Mr. spelled out the long way, Red2342. That's at Mr. Red2342. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And
like us on Facebook.
Friends. Like us on Facebook. Like us on iTunes. Give us review and 5-star reviews and everything.
Be awesome.
That is how podcasts get done, is people need to review them. So if you are listening to this, even if you hate it,
review it.
Star show. Yeah. Anyone else want to say anything?
No.
Final thoughts? No. All right. Well, thanks. Bye.
Fuck leeches.